Okay, Gary's Tour fans, this is Ross Castle as the O'Donohues built it in the 1400s. Much smaller. Many more outbuildings. Usually kitchens were outbuildings, so the main building wouldn't burn down. This is Ross Castle as it looked when the Browns built it. They built the west wall in the 1600s. 1800s, a barracks was attached to the Ross Castle area on the south wall for actual fortification purposes. This is called creating a ruin. During the military occupation of Ross Castle, the interior was altered to create bigger rooms. The lower stone, this is how the castle crumbled. The lower stone vault was removed and internal walls were removed to create one large room on each floor. On the east wall, 6 Georgian sash windows. This is what Ross Castle looked like in 1900. In 1800. And this is what Ross Castle looked like in the 1860s. And in 1796. Ross Castle came into state ownership in 1970. Over the years, work was done to stabilize it. The northeast corner had been heavily buttressed with stone. A steel and concrete roof had been put on, and Georgian windows had been filled in. An internal wall had been built to support the upper vault. Much of this was causing more damage. Heavy buttressing on the northeast corner was falling away, causing cracks on either side, running all the way to the top of the walls. The east wall was falling outward. Steel beams holding the roof up had almost rotted away, and the upper vault was collapsing. In fact, the building was about to fall down. Raking shores were used to support the 3 walls on the outside, fixed to a steel frame. All cracks of the building were constantly monitored, but not all cracks were visible. On 2 occasions, staff narrowly escaped injury when a large section, apparently, of unsound masonry collapsed. Here's what it looks like, and here's what they did to prevent its ultimate collapse. What started as a limited project, conserved repair of the castle, developed into a full restoration, and later stages were greatly assisted by EU funding. The restored castle was opened to the public in 1993. After careful study, surviving the building meant that there was very little guesswork involved in reconstruction. The same is true of the materials. The original mortar and plasters were carefully analyzed. The plaster had been applied in several layers, but all had been strengthened with cow hair to prevent it from cracking. This was difficult to come by, but faithfully reproduced, as you can see in the photo. Craftsmen learned how to weave thicker centering, the rebuilding into vaults accurately. Wicker mats were molded in place and curved into shape of an arch. On top of these, stones of the arch were bedded in mortar. Trial pieces of wicker were pressed into sand to check the pattern matched the fragments of the original. It was restored as best they could to match the original work. Here's some of the work they did. This was in the 90s with the help of funding from the EU. So they used some modern building construction, but also used some of the old ways of building in order to maintain it. In a ruin, the romance in Ross Castle. Castle crumbles. During the military occupation of Ross Castle, the interior was altered to create bigger rooms. The lower stone vault was removed. The internal walls were moved to create one large room on each floor. In the east wall, 6 Georgian sash windows were inserted. All of these changes seriously weakened the structure. When the military left in 1825, it was returned to the Earl of Kenmare. He made it into a decorative feature of the landscape, a venerable ruin with a lake lapping at its feet, surrounded by wild mountains. Generations of tourists have come in jaunting cars to admire the result. With the roof removed, the weakened building was exposed to the weather. Beneath the cloak of ivy, it gently crumbled. Some work was done to keep it standing, but this created more problems. By the time it came to state ownership in 1970, the building was dangerously unstable. Here's the way it looked in 1900. Here's the way it looked in 1800. And here's the way it looked in the 1800s and the late 18th century. This is Muckruss house. I have special interest in Muckruss house these days, and the garden. You can see there's been some work done on the stucco of Muckruss house. It looks like brick with stucco placed on top. This is another absolutely beautiful day here in Killarney. 10%, I would say, of the days in Killarney are beautiful with no overcast or rain. This is the kind of day that everyone in Killarney prays for, particularly if you're in the tourist industry. It's an absolutely beautiful day. It's May 19th. This is Muckruss house. Sadly, the OPW doesn't allow videoing of any of their projects. Although they will sell you time if you apply. And they will let you video for 150 euros an hour if you wish to pay them. And so they say it's illegal. The OPW has a card it carries tour fans. I recommend you get. You get in free into more than 780 Irish historical heritage sites that are run by the OPW. Looks like Saturday in the park, but it's Sunday in the park. What a beautiful place to come. What an asset this is. If you live in Killarney, you come here every day and hang out in a beautiful park. You sort of have the feeling that you're a millionaire in your park. Here's another side of the Muckruss house. My favorite side is the garden and rock garden. With every few weeks, the flowers that are available seem to change. Last time we were here, these flowers weren't out. Not sure what they are. If you know what they are, please list in the comments below what kind of flower that is. Because I don't know what kind of flower it is. Beautiful flower though. There's Queen Elizabeth's fire escape. She had that put in on the floor that she was living on so she could get out in the event the place burned down. She was very much afraid of fire. So she wouldn't come here unless they put in that fire escape for her. Here's some other flowers that weren't here the last time we were here. What are these? Any ideas? Like buttercups almost, don't they? What's that flower over there? What is that? Looks like it's starting to bloom. This is a beautiful garden, a formal, I'd say formal English type garden. Lots of beautiful plants. Well maintained. That's alum. I forget what alum is used for. It's used for something, I think. I think it makes you pucker up. Lots of green plants that haven't bloomed yet. And what are these beautiful plants? Identify them? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Those look like rose bushes. They've not yet bloomed. And this is a beautiful shot of the castle garden, or the, I'm sorry, Muckross house garden.